True Reviews here! Now, remember my top 10 terrible games video I did a while ago? Yeah, that one where I just talked about 10 shitty games that I wanted to get off my chest? No? Well, fucking go back and watch it then. Well, if you do, then guess what? Yep, we're going for round 2. Remember, this isn't the top 10 worst games ever. I've already done that. This is just a list of games that I want to moan about because they're pissing me off in some way. So, here is 10 more shitty games! Enjoy. Don't shoot the puppy. Simple enough, just don't shoot the puppy. Damn. Okay, let's try again. Damn! Okay, I think I figured it out. Just don't click the mouse. Fuck off! So you're not supposed to move the mouse either? So basically to win this game, just do nothing. Yeah, you really want to win this game? Then do what George Osborne does when he goes into work. Nothing. Okay, you f***, I'll get you this time. It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. I don't need pop-ups here.
Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living.
Sniper Elite V2. At the risk of getting trolled, I'm going to put this one on here. Now, this isn't actually a bad game. Sneak up on Nazis and put a bullet in their heads. And then see the affirmation bullet go into Nazi's head and then scramble their brains in the slow motion death cam. But what I have against this game is when you either get spotted or defending against attack waves. This is really a stealth tactical shooter game, given that you don't have much ammo in your Thompson or well rod, meaning that you need to focus on sniping the enemy. And hey, I think that's a great idea. But when you've taken that first shot, every Nazi in the area knows your exact location and are coming for you, meaning you need to lay down some traps and get the Thompson out. So I'm just huddled up in the fucking corner with my Thompson out, waiting to gun down these assholes. Now where's the stealth sniping in that? If they didn't quite know where I was, then I could do what real snipers do and just change my location. But here, the Nazis have the eyes of Sauron and can see you through walls and shit. And then there's defending against attack waves. The f***? Now, here, the enemy know my position from the word go, which means that I'm going to have to snipe as many as I can before they all inevitably get inside the building, after which I'm going to have to go back into the corner and get the submachine gun out again. Too bad I used up all the Thompson ammo earlier in the game when I got caught for the 100th time. This game was based on a great idea that they've somehow managed to mess up. There, finished. Viewers, commence trolling. Actually, please don't. Constructive criticism is more than welcome. General trolling and angry hate mail? Not so welcome. Trolling is deader than Elvis, so get over it.
And hold on tight, cause it's gonna be wilder than any exciting ride.
European Bus Simulator. Fuck me. As bus simulators go, then this is the nuts, although the text and messages are mainly in German. But there's so many buttons and functions to use. There's so many of them! There's like 3 buttons alone just to operate the doors. Buttons for windows, brakes, gears, indicators, windscreen wipers and the speed for them. Fog lights, hazard warning lights, dipped headlights, full beam lights, hydraulics, horns, and then there's the ticket machine. Oh, don't even get me started on the ticket machine. There's so many more buttons on that I'm half expecting one of those buttons to reveal a hidden torture chamber within the bus itself. Yeah, you press a button and one of the panels on the floors flips over to reveal an old man on a rack. Having said that, there should be a button that calls over strippers, or reveals an armory on the bus. Now that would be the shit right there. European Bus Simulator Extreme. For what it's trying to achieve, this game is very accurate, but seriously? Who would want to play a game that resembles everyday work? They might as well make a game where you do a 9 to 5 job in an office building and call it Corporate Office Simulator. Next.
Lane Goodman.
Aliens, Colonial Marines. How could you possibly mess up an Aliens game? Well, that's an easy one. How about showing you some really cool and exciting footage of human v alien fights in the trailers, with big ass weapons that we'd all recognise from the movies, and have witty and macho dialogues from the Marines to make them seem to fit easily into the franchise and settings, and then bring it all together in one awesome game. And then go ahead and remove all of this and replace it with Call of Duty. Oh Sega, what have you done? During interviews, the developers were super enthusiastic about this game staying true to the franchise and being the next big thing, and as gullible as we all were, most of us, well, me really, fell for them and got sucked into the hype that was Aliens Colonial Marines. And then it came out. The AI was terrible. Aliens that were killed in midair remained there for some reason. The story didn't make any sense really, especially the part when it turns out that one of the main characters from the second Aliens film was still alive and right here in the game. I won't tell you who it was, but all I'll say is this: that person died in the film. Period. The weapons too. They weren't bad, but one of the biggest selling points of this game was being able to use a proper working smart gun. Now, you get this gun in other Aliens games, but it looked like Colonial Marines might be the first game to ace this one, and whilst the gun was indeed good, it's you only get to use it once! Twice if you find the hidden special weapon. But O'Neill has one throughout the entire f***ing game, and he doesn't even know how to use it. Finally, as the title gives it away, you'd expect this game to be about killing aliens, but in fact, most of the combat is spent fighting the other race that's mentioned in the titles, Colonial Marines. Weyland-Yutani Marines to be exact. Meaning that this game is just turned into a standard first-person shooter. There were times where I had to grab the CD box and look at the title of the game again, just to remind myself what game exactly I was playing, because there were so many Marine v Marine missions that you can completely forget at times that you are actually playing an Aliens game. Okay, what's next? Black and White 2. That's 2, not the first one. I actually quite like the first one. It resembles more of what a god could do, or rather, what a god is limited to. But in Black and White 2, that's not the case, oh no. The subtle influences that were employed in the first game goes right out the window, as you take direct control of all areas of civilized life in this game, including construction, military planning and intelligence, resource gathering, job and employment allocation, and creature training. You even have to get people to f*** each other as a way of making them reproduce and keep the city going. This doesn't sound very much like what a god does. For a game that claims that you play as a god, it sure does well at stripping away your divinity and replacing it with a civic and military management / pimping role. Then there's the aims of the game, which is to conquer your enemy either by being good and building an impressive base, or by following the evil path and taking the enemy by force. The first way is boring, but the evil way, though being the most fun, is the hardest method to choose, due to having to constantly recruit and maintain an army, and then having them replaced when some soldiers are killed, and storming an enemy base is a lot harder than building a temple in your own base. This means that the game is encouraging you to play it via the boring option. Then there's these two who are supposed to be your conscience and advisors to the game, but end up arguing most of the time, and the angel is a complete bitch, as he's constantly moaning and acts like a massive pussy all the time. You also get some cool spells to use, like casting fireballs and meteorites, and then there's also miracles such as earthquakes, summoning volcanoes, and this thing?
Look into the light. Join with me.
I'm gonna leave that one there as it is, thank you.
And my wife is dead.
I'm sorry to hear that.
High five!
Leisure Suit Larry, Magna go f*** yourself. Why Magna Cum and not Box Office Bust? Well, I haven't played Box Office Bust yet, though I have heard some pretty dread things about it. Okay, this game was really crap.
Right, down.
You play as Larry Lovage, and yes, that is his name. In some college, I don't even think you're studying anything. And your goal is to get laid, which sounds like fun, though sex and video games don't really mix that well. So you go around hitting on one girl at a time by playing these mini games that suck shit, like having a conversation, we have to control a sperm and have to avoid all these obstacles like beer and farts. And then that fucking quarters game, you have to throw a quarter into a plastic cup. The controls are hard. All you have to do is move the mouse back to draw power, and then push forward to throw it, which sounds easy enough, But judging the amount of force you need is a bitch, because the difficulty changes later on in the game, making you constantly f*** up. It's shit like this that makes me wonder why on earth I am playing a video game while I just take part in really boring mini-games that wouldn't even be fun to do in real life. This is really made up of a load of mini-games, so really, there's not much substance to this game. So how big is the size of the file to this game anyway? Well, let's just open up the CD case and... wait, 4 CDs? This game requires 4 CDs? And it's only 2.5 gigabytes big! 4 CDs! No room for a manual then. And then there's some random hobo on campus too, and no one's thought to have him reported. What's with the loading screens that shows pictures of girls from the game? The video game versions of them don't look anything like them at all. Why not just have the girls from in the game and not some random models? And I know that they do, but it just seems pointless to have pictures of actual girls in it. I don't know. And Larry runs like a pansy. WWF WrestleMania 2000 for the Game Boy. Huh. I'm asking for it now if we're looking at wrestling games on the Game Boy. The game just doesn't look right, and some of the wrestlers are hard to tell apart. If it weren't for the names at the top of the screen, then I'd be f***ed. Like normal wrestling, the aim is to get your opponent to submit by getting them into different submission positions. But look at this! This doesn't look like wrestling, it looks like I'm molesting my opponent. Yeah, to win, you have to touch up your opponent until they tap out after having their innocence taken away. And I swear it takes at least 3 submission attempts to take them down. You can't do it first time round. So once you've taken them down the first time, you might as well go ahead and say to yourself, well, 2 more tries and then I'll win. Hopefully. Well, I'm going to stop things here for now. The reason being is that the next 3 nominations are possible contenders for the worst game ever, and I should have really featured them on my worst games ever list, had I known about them at the time. So anyway, stay tuned for part 2. And don't forget to catch up on all the previous True Review episodes, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you next time.
Snooping as usual, I see.
Shit.